Summer turns to spring on the World Cup Archery Tour. The World Cup coming to Colombia. For the first time, the best of the best battling in South America. Medellin provides a breathtaking backdrop for Stage 3 on the Archery World Cup circuit. Surrounded by the towering Andes Mountains, the archers gathered here, rising to the occasion to reach the mountaintop of their sport. The goal? Get to Paris in September for the World Cup final. But only a chosen few make the grade and get to see the City of Lights. So there's plenty of motivation here in Medellin, a city and a nation known for its coffee, emeralds, and beautiful flowers, is now becoming known for bows and arrows. The hard work of winning a medal begins days before those matches even take place. The women's recurve teams took to the field in Medellin with Mexico facing China in the semis. Mexico featured 2 Olympic medalists, but the Chinese had too much firepower and they made it to the gold medal match. At the same time, the U.S. put a strong lineup together with Katuna Lorig and Miranda Leak leading the way, but India's lineup was even deeper. Ms. Kumari, Buruyuli, and Leshram outscoring the Americans by 5 to reserve their spot in the gold medal match with China. Those 3 young ladies were center stage on Sunday morning in Medellin. Deepika Kumari flanked by Remil Buruyuli and Bombela Devi Leshram. Over on target number 1, China felt good about its chances with Cheng Ming, Zhu Jing, and Cui Yuan shooting for the People's Republic. But those good feelings did not last long. At the very first shot of the match, Cheng Ming, for some inexplicable reason, simply misses the target, receiving no points. China, already behind the 8 ball, and a score of 6, followed then by a score of 5, did not make the situation any better. A total of just 11 points on China's first 3 shots, a huge break for India to start the match. But India is almost as slow to break from the gate. That's 6, followed up by a 5. But that's when Deepika Kumari steps up to the shooting line and puts some distance between the 2 teams. After the first end, the lead has grown to 18 points. Cheng Ming would find the form she's famous for, but Zhu Jing and Cui Yuan were still trying to find the range. So opportunity presents itself to Bombela Devi, and she does not disappoint. Neither does Buruyuli, who buries that shot in the 9 ring. The match already decided by the time Deepika steps up for the kill shot and puts this one away. The women from India making quick work of the People's Republic of China. They cruise home to a comfortable victory, winning the women's gold medal match by the unexpected margin of 15 points, 201 to 186.
Yeah, it was so windy, but we tried to shoot our best. But sometimes it's so windy, sometimes it's not. So it was great.
Canada and Malaysia are worlds apart, one known for its colder climate, the other for its warmer weather, but those 2 worlds came together briefly during the semifinals here at Stage 3 in Colombia. And while the 2 nations might be worlds away from each other, the final score could not have been much closer, Malaysia slipping by Canada by just 1 point. Meanwhile, Mexico's put together a terrific men's team that includes Luis Alvarez, Juan Rene Serrano, and Luis Eduardo Velez. They would have to be terrific to compete with the likes of Brady Ellison, Jacob Wuki, and Jake Kaminsky. Turns out they were, beating the Americans by 7 to survive and move on. Moving on to the men's gold medal match featuring the two teams that had never won this gold medal before. Malaysia would rely upon the young Atik Fazil Bakri, Hazik Kamarudin, and Khairul Anwar Mohammed. All smiles for the Mexicans, and you would too if you had Senor Alvarez, Senor Serrano, and Senor Velez representing your nation. We'll hit the fast-forward button and pick up the action after 3 ends, Mexico using a strong start to build a 9-point lead early on. Khairul Anwar Mohammed leads off with a good score, bolstered by the young Atik Fazil Bakri. Kamarudin cashes in as well, so it's 3 straight 9s for the Malaysians. Alvarez leaves his first shot at the 4th end just a little low. Conversely, Velez aims high and to the left and leaves his arrow in the 7 ring. So it's left to Serrano to post a 9, keeping Mexico in front by 7. Mohammed stays in the groove with another 9, where he's joined by Mr. Bakri, who impressed everyone with his composure. Kamarudin completes the scoring for Malaysia, leaving Mexico needing just 20 points to put this one in the win column. Alvarez is wide left, but remember, Mexico has a few points to play with. Velez doesn't take any chances, though. That 9 sets the table for Juan Rene to finish it off, and Serrano's strong shot gives Mexico the gold, its first in men's team competition. They give up a few points in the 4th end, but they had a few to spare and still wind up winning by 6. Malaysia settles for the silver as Mexico wins this one 209 to 203. For me, it's an honor being part of this team together with these guys, my teammates, my brothers. It's a very good result for Mexico, and we must continue forward. I'm very, very happy to be here, and I'd like to thank all the people who supported us and to congratulate ourselves as well. What we feel is not easy to explain.
Muchas gracias.
Lots of teams in the mix this week for a spot in the mixed team medal matches. Mexico paired with China in semifinal action. Aida Roman and Juan Rene Serrano dueling with Dai Zhaozhong and Zhu Jing. After getting the best of the Russian Federation in the quarters, China would wind up winning this one by 7. While that was going on, the Americans had a real battle on their hands with India, but with 2 veterans like Brady Ellison and 5-time Olympian Katuna Lorig teaming up, experience wins out over the very promising Atanu Das and Deepika Kumari, the USA advancing to the gold medal finals. Dai Zhaozhong and Zhu Jing each have impressive resumes. Mr. Dai winning the bronze medal at the Olympics in London last summer, giving his country its first individual men's medal at the Summer Games. Meanwhile, Katuna Lorig had the rare opportunity to compete in 5 different Olympiads for 3 different countries. Brady joined her in London last summer and took home a team silver medal after knocking off the Korean team favored to win it all. We'll jump into the match after the first 8 arrows. The USA, right where they want to be, 4 points ahead. Trailing in the match, China shoots first, and Mr. Dai delivers with a 9, as does Zhu Jing. Bullseye Brady Ellison just cannot seem to miss. And his partner more than holds up her end of the bargain, especially with the wind starting to pick up. Mr. Dai seems to get stronger as the match gets longer. And Zhu Jing's now matching him shot for shot, cutting into the Americans' lead. It looks like that lead's going to hold up after Ellison's 9, but then that lead disappears just as Katuna Lorig's last shot of the end seems to vanish in the winds of Medellin. It's another missed shot, another no score, and now the Americans are looking down the barrel of a 7-point deficit. Doesn't seem to faze Brady one bit. And Katuna's able to keep her composure and shoot a shot with much better results. But Dai Xiaozhang's been here before, and he knows how to play with the lead. He puts up a 9 and then watches as his partner Zhu Jing goes one better. It's a 10-liner, so now the red, white, and blue needs a bailout. They're down 9, only 2 arrows left in the quiver. Ellison makes the most of his shot, and so does his teammate. But China's got a hold on the gold, and Mr. Dai's not about to loosen up his grasp. Neither is Zhu Jing, who needs 3 to win. 8 is more than enough for her and the paparazzi. It's another golden moment for the People's Republic of China as they take full advantage of a missed shot by the U.S. to secure the victory and the medal. The 27 points scored by the Americans in that fateful third end, sealing their fate as China wins by 6. The first World Cup stage in Shanghai wasn't very good, so during this month, I was training very hard, especially because I was going to Medellin, where I wanted to win the gold medal.
Medellin has organized events, archery events, since 20 years. They have been growing in the level of the events, and I think it's the right time that they make one of the most difficult and complex competition, which is the World Cup. So we are very happy to be here, and the organizers are up to the level that we expected. In the qualification venues, we are coming to a multi-sport complex like this one, which is the baseball stadium, which gives the size that we needed and has the right direction. So that's why we are in this baseball stadium for the qualification and elimination. But the finals, we are moving to the APM, which is the Edificio Inteligente. It's a kind of buildings where it's the energy company of the city. But it's an iconic place in the middle of the city, and that's what we wanted to have.
An iconic setting that adds the element of shifting winds, making life more interesting and challenging for archers like Ana Maria Rendon, who makes her home in Colombia. The 27-year-old finished 9th last month at Stage 2 on Cunayalti Beach, but now she's in the bronze medal match facing the young woman who shared the spotlight with Sarah Lopez in Antalya. That's China's Cui Yuan. Just 21 years old, Cui is 8-1 on the season and has those 2 gold medals she claimed in Turkey to her credit. It's the first time these two have squared off against each other, and after the opening set, Cui has a 2-point lead. Rendon has been searching since the start of the match for the right spot to aim her shots, but without much success. Despite taking the first set, Cui seems to be searching a little bit too. Meanwhile, the nightmare for Ana Marie just keeps getting worse. And it's not getting any better after shots like this by Miss Cui. Rendon decides to shoot a little sooner and gets a bit better result, but 19 points usually will not win a set. And it certainly doesn't this time. Despite the less than stellar shot by Cui Yuan, who goes up 4-0 in set points, the Colombian crowd keeps the faith and tries to light a fire under Ana Maria Rendon. That seems to be just the medicine she needs. Ana Marie coming up with her best shot to this point in the match. An 8 by the Chinese archer would fire up the crowd even more. But Rendon can't stand prosperity. With a chance to keep the match going, her next shot is a 6, and this time Cui is not about to let this opportunity go by the wayside. Trailing by 3 points in the set, Anna Marie keeps her fading hopes alive with an excellent shot under less than ideal conditions. But Cui Yuan needs only 7 to win, and 7 is what she gets. Just like that, it's all over. And one of the happiest people on the planet is now even happier. Cui Yuan picks up where she left off in Antalya, where she captured 2 gold medals at stage 2. She won't get to celebrate with a swim in the Mediterranean, but she will celebrate nonetheless after recording a straight set victory over Anna Marie Rendon. The women's gold medal match would prove to be a much more closely contested affair between Miranda Leak of the United States and Ina Stepanova of the Russian Federation. Miranda, with a lot of world-class experience at the tender age of 20, she's ranked 25th in the world and has worked hard on her conditioning to be in even better shape to compete at this level. She has never faced Ina Stepanova, who comes in ranked slightly higher and still has a shot at qualifying for the World Cup final in Paris this fall. We saw her win stage 4 in Shanghai 2 years ago, a victory she had to have to reach that year's World Cup final in Istanbul. After the first 2 sets, nothing's been decided. Leak took the first set, Stepanova the second. So we're tied up at 2 apiece. Third set doesn't begin all that well for Stepanova. Meanwhile, Miranda Leak's first shot of the third set is only slightly better. Stepanova ups the ante on her next shot, but Miranda says, "I'll see ya and I'll raise ya." Leak's leading by 1, hoping to apply some pressure on Stepanova, but the Russian archer seems to have things figured out. So when Leak lets this one get away into the 7 ring, she could easily become an angry bird. But Miranda keeps her composure because she still has a chance to take the match. But now she trails 4-2. On to the 4th set, where Miranda Leak aims high and gets an 8. But that's like bringing a knife to a gunfight, especially when your opponent's shooting 10s. Miranda rises to the challenge, but Stepanova stays strong. So does Ms. Leak, who is now at the mercy of her opponent. A 10 will win it, a 9 will split the set, and split it she does. Each archer receiving a point, so the score goes to 5-3. Stepanova still in front. Still, if Miranda Leak can win the next set, she'll send the match to a shoot-off where anything goes. That 8 isn't what Ms. Leak had in mind, but then again, neither was this shot by Stepanova. Miranda makes her move with a 9, but now Ina's matching her shot for shot. When she needed it the most, the big shot eludes Miranda Leak in her moment of truth. Now she's once again at the mercy of Ina Stepanova, who needs only an 8 to win the match and the medal. That 9 will work just fine. The horns go off and the celebration begins for the young Russian. In a well-played match that went back and forth and was closer than the final score might indicate, Stepanova picks up her first individual gold medal in almost 2 years, winning by the final count of 7-3. I think that I need to work hard and win more points just to make sure that I reach the final in Paris. So the women's standings will now change. Cui Yuan was third coming to Colombia, and Ina Stepanova didn't even show up in the top 8. But now, after stage 3, Cui sits in second place, Stepanova is third, and Miranda Leak of the U.S. holds down the 8th and final spot. Moving right along, the men take center stage on the plaza in front of Edificio Inteligente. Next on the agenda, a battle for the bronze medal featuring the Frenchman Jean-Charles Valadon who is in the midst of a very good year, winning 10 of his first 14 matches. On this day, he's matched up against another excellent Chinese archer, Zhang Jianping, who just joined his country's national team. Don't focus on his world rankings. He's 7th in the World Cup standings, and right now he needs more World Cup points to solidify his spot in the finals in September. We move ahead in the match, pick up the action with Mr. Zhang holding a 2-point lead after an excellent third set. Valadon is definitely on his game, doing a nice job of dealing with the winds. And it feels like the winds might be shifting after Mr. Zhang lands this shot in the 5 ring. Valadon doesn't take as much advantage of the golden opportunity as he might have, and when Zhang comes back with a bullseye, he's off the hook for that 5. It's anybody's set, especially after Jean-Charles puts another one in the 7 ring. And that leaves Mr. Zhang needing 9 points to close out the match. But that would be too easy, right? The drama continues in Colombia as they split the set, split the points, and go to the 5th set with Mr. Zhang now up 5-3. The Frenchman still fighting for the medal. He makes a statement with that shot. A shot his opponent cannot match. So Valadon once again leads the set and is looking good after another bullseye. That brings out the best in Mr. Zhang. That's on the line, but might just as well be in the middle of the 10 ring. Jean-Charles can claim the set if he can get one more shot in the center of the target. 'Twas not to be. Zhang can win the match if he can shoot the bullseye. 'Twas not to be. What was meant to be was a shoot-off. The Chinese archer will go first in this contest to see who can put one shot closer to the center of the target. That 9 gives Jean-Charles Valadon another golden opportunity and leaves Mr. Zhang at the mercy of his opponent. But on this day, fate smiles on Zhang Jianping. Valadon puts his last shot in the 9 ring, but it's clearly not as close to the center of the target. So there's your bronze medalist, Zhang Jianping of China, forced to go to a shoot-off where his arrow landed just close enough to claim the medal for China. And finally, at long last, it's the men's gold medal match. With the Koreans skipping stage 3, the field was wide open for someone like Jeff Henkels to grab the spotlight and a spot in the gold medal match. Although he admitted he was more surprised than anyone to find himself in this position. Obviously, he'll have his hands full taking on Dai Xiaozhong of China, who's already got 1 gold medal in his pocket here in Medellin. Just 22 years old, he's ranked 16th in the world and comes in with a 5-1 record in match play this year. Let's pick it up after the second set. Mr. Dai wins the first 2 sets and takes a 4-0 lead that has Henkels on the ropes. But the lanky archer from Luxembourg seems to have settled down at this point. And he puts his first shot of the third end right on the line to pick up 10 points. Mr. Dai almost duplicating that shot, but it's just off the line, and he now trails in the set. Henkels builds upon his lead with another bullseye. And Dai Xiaozhong compounds his problems with another 9. Jeff Henkels can sew this set up with a 9 of his own, and that's exactly what he does. No matter what Dai does with this shot, the match will go on and the lead will be cut in half. Henkels wins the third set 29-27 and picks up 2 set points and trails in the match 4-2. He's still in a precarious spot though. All Mr. Dai need do is win the next set, and we're all heading home. Now you can tell when Jeff Henkels releases his shot that he'd like to have this one back. Henkels with an 8 spot, and that's like blood to a shark. Mr. Dai starts to move in for the kill. A bullseye on his first shot is the first step. Henkels does his best to fight back. Henkels taking his time and shooting a 9. But Dai Xiaozhong does not seem inclined to give Henkels a reprieve. If Henkels is going to go down, though, he's going to go down swinging. Great shot to end the day for Jeff Henkels. Now it's all in the capable hands of Dai Zhang, who needs an 8 to end the suspense. Consider it done. The drama's over. Mr. Dai has done it. After taking the first 2 sets, then dropping the third, Dai Zhang recovers to take the 4th set and the match. The final score, 6-2, in favor of the Golden Boy from China, who will take 2 gold medals back home to the People's Republic of China. Final score, 6-2, in favor of Dai Zhang. I am very excited I won the gold medal match, but I think this medal is not only for me, but for the entire Chinese team. So before we go, let's update the standings for the men as they jockey for a spot in the World Cup final. Mr. Zhang, Mr. Dai, Brady Ellison, Juan Rene Serrano, and Jeff Henkels were all on the outside looking in, but after stage 3, all are now in the top 8 with a shot to see the lights of Gay Paris. Of course, all of that could change next month at Stage 4 in Poland on the 2013 Archery World Cup Tour. For now, we say hasta luego from beautiful Medellin, Colombia.